Are you? Well, have you liked it? I'll wait. Are you following? I'll wait again. Have you subscribed? I'll give you a little more time. All right, now, this is what I need you to do. Hit that notification bell right there so you know exactly when we go live.
Yeah.
Now you're ready. Felons the Favor coming to you through the AHRR Network. Here we come.
Look.
Let's go.
On the block, we just had to, it wasn't no choice. If it was beef, you had to burn it, or it'll cook you first. We was raised to take, no bull, ask questions, later shoot first. If it was tension and you didn't pull, then your face was on the t-shirt. No man to teach a man, so the streets had to teach him. But it ain't no love in the streets. They just take what they need from you, then they give you a rap sheet as long as D now. So the credit checks and job apps, they come with D now. And so we revive, and they wonder why we wild. We lions in the jungle. And we gotta eat, whether it's a mask or a glass dish, I gotta feed my little Simba so he can grow and become a king. I'm just trying to keep him from becoming another me, but it's hard to be what you can't see. Gotta change these bars in the King's speech. To heal these scars, pain cuts deep. Gotta touch them before they touch me. They gon' feel me before they cuff me, but it's a better way, just trust me. Yeah. Look, this is the way that we end up in this before we start. I'm trying to keep you from writing bars behind bars. You send a kite to your people and you get no response. This is a warning before destruction, before it comes. I want you to feel my pain, so I spit bars behind bars. I'm just caged in a cage, that mean it's bars behind bars. Yeah, the meaning ain't the same, that mean it's bars behind bars. Been free 100 years and still a slave, that's bars behind bars, yeah. Just take a second to recollect before your Nike check with the tech. Let this broadcast another route to respect. Teach you another route to success, cause taking the streets could be treacherous. Because once you get it, they wanna come get it. They're running your crib for a necklace. You wanna get bands on deck to get out the stands, no rest. And get on the field and play your position. Legitimate plays, legitimate checks. It's just amazing what you can do when you change your mindset. Like you in the gym and you looking for games, but it's no shots, it's just all reps. Hit the dealership like it's all there. No foul balls, but life ain't fair. How you stacking bread all on the ground with 400 grams with no safe there? That's crazy, right? Because they step. But if you keep it clean, it's no worries. You can lead your squad with a business plan that don't include snow flurries. But if you lock down, it's no service unless you talk to the water. They say it ain't no roses in this concrete garden. It's not who's the hardest, but who can break the cycle, then change the tracks and then restart it and gas it up and keep it going, yeah. Yeah. Check it. Look. On the block, we just had to, it wasn't no choice. If it was beef, you had to burn it, or it'll cook you first. We was raised to take, no bull, ask questions, later shoot first. If it was tension and you didn't pull, then your face was on the t-shirt. No man to teach a man, so the streets had to teach him. But it ain't no love in the streets. They just take what they need from you, then they give you a rap sheet as long as D now. So the credit checks and job apps, they come with D now. And so we revive, and they wonder why we wild. We lions in the jungle and we gotta eat, whether it's a mask or a glass dish, I gotta feed my little Simba so he can grow and become a king. I'm just trying to keep him from becoming another me, but it's hard to be what you can't see. Gotta change these bars in the King's speech. To heal these scars, pain cuts deep. Gotta touch them before they touch me. They gon' feel me before they cuff me, but it's a better way, just trust me. Yeah. Look, this is the way that we end up in this before we start. I'm trying to keep you from writing bars behind bars. You send a kite to your people and you get no response. This is a warning before destruction, before it comes. I want you to feel my pain, so I spit
Okay,
bars
we're back.
bars.
Now, by now, you should have already liked, shared, followed, and subscribed, and hit that notification bell. But guess what? It's not too late. I give you a little bit of time. All right? You had your time. Let's go. Welcome back to Felons the Favor. Don't forget, we're not just for the people. We are the people.
Your crib for a necklace. You wanna get bands on deck to get out the stands, no rest. And get on the field and play your position. Legitimate plays, legitimate checks. It's just amazing what you can do when you change your mindset.
Welcome back to Felons the Favor. Now listen, if you've been keeping up and you know my story and you know my testimony, then you know about this person that I'm bringing on the show. This is family. This is always gonna be family. This is someone that
rode with me for, you know, through childhood and even adulthood. But you also know that leading up to my incident, me and my bro had a lot of experiences, and one of those is what led me to incarceration. But outside of that, this is somebody, man, that is loved in the community, funny guy, somebody that I consider a brother and family, as blood, actually. And please help me welcome Mr. Eugen Meyers to the show.
Thank you for having me,
we call
bro.
him Tight. We'll talk about how he got his name, his nickname, here in a little bit. But man, my bro, man, every time I'm in Denver, man, we try to connect, we try to hook up, we reminisce, we go back on old times, man. This has been a long-standing friendship, camaraderie, brotherhood, since elementary, since middle school. Since middle school. Man, how you doing, sir?
Good, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me, man. It's a blessing to, you know, be a part of what you're doing and
Yes, sir.
experience your journey from where we came from to what you're doing now, man. It's real inspirational.
Listen, we've been trying to get this knocked out for a very long time. We both been incarcerated. We was incarcerated at the same time.
Here
of
now.
course, you know how I got to my situation of being incarcerated. We are here now. We are blessed. We've I think you about 20 kids in, and I'm about...
Man, you right behind me. You right behind me.
About 20 kids in, and
Yes, sir.
I got about 3-4 kids.
Man, you right
some
there.
bonus children out there.
You right there.
Man, so life has hit us. Life has
man.
hit us, but life's been a blessing to us, man. I just want to bring you on, talk about how our you know our camaraderie developed. Talk about, you know, why it was important for us, even at the time. The level of loyalty that we took was so important then, and still is now.
Right.
But growing up, Montbello, I remember you came out there. It was almost out the blue in middle school. But how did you get to Colorado and specifically Montbello?
Well, I try to keep it short. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was born in Florida. My dad was in the Air Force. Did a lot of traveling. You know what I'm saying? We got out here in 92 when I was like 10. Stayed on Lowry for about a year. Then moved to Montbello. I went to Hill my 6th grade year.
Okay.
And that's when I ran into Serial. Into Marvin. You know what I'm saying? I guess he got kicked out of MLK that year and came over to Hill. And so that following year, I transferred over to MLK. Ran into him the first day in the little office and everything, and he was the one who, matter of fact, introduced me to everybody.
Oh, I didn't know Marvin was that. I always thought it was Kyle.
No, he introduced me to SK.
Okay.
He introduced me to Kyle. You know what I'm saying?
And they were cousins.
They claim cousins.
Okay.
Pretty much. That's how, you know how it is. You my cousin, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
But they was tight like that.
I remember.
Yeah, they was tight like that. So he introduced me to SK, and me and SK just hit it off, man.
And y'all stayed around the corner from each other. So
yeah,
it was
we both stayed
easy.
across the street from Silverman, so we just clicked up that way. You know what I'm saying?
In the meantime, at that time, I think me and Andre Lopez Baker, aka Lil Hawk, Lil HK, me and him got real tight and real cool. This was about 7th, 8th grade, man. We was like back to back because we both liked to fight. We both was sort of rough around the edges. We both was going through our own things. I think his mom and dad was going through either a divorce, separation, or he was dealing with something then. And he was also looking for leadership, just like we all was. And then I started kicking it with him, and then we start connecting with you.
Yeah, that's how that was. That's how that popped off, man. It was you and Lil Hawk. Y'all was tight like this, and me and SK had ended up getting tight like that. But more so, a lot of it originated from Lil Hawk's house.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we all used to hang out at
me and SK. That was the stomping grounds.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's where we used to kick that all the time.
Yeah.
So me and SK would come over all the time. You and Lil Hawk started claiming brothers.
Yeah, I remember.
And me and SK was like, okay, we finna claim brothers too then, man. So,
I remember.
You know what I mean? And that's how the brother thing started with me and him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then we used to have some moments over there where
friendly competition.
we call it bodies back then. We was going bodies.
Yeah, that's how you.
Was us socking each other.
That's how you sharpen that handwork.
So, well, we understood at that time, during that time period. Again, this is early '90s, summer of violence,
mid-90s, yeah.
and mid-90s. Like I was saying earlier, we were talking about earlier, and how not only were we going through transition, but it was a result of the influences that were around us. The music at the time, what we was listening to with X-Rated, Killer Tay.
Yeah, at that age, we're very influential.
You had a lot of, for us, especially in Colorado, Denver specifically, Montbello specifically, even more specifically, you had a West Coast influence. You had a California influence, not just in the music, but you actually had a lot of California gangsters come to Colorado and Denver, Park Hill, the East Side, in Montbello, even some in Aurora, where there was a lot of going back and forth between California, putting cats on the hood, and then also with the transition of the culture with the music and the movies. We talked about Menace to Society and so on and so forth. So with that, you were also going through your own turmoil in your life around the same time period. And I think we all had our challenges, but we, now that we look back, we can sort of look to them. I remember 6th, 7th grade, before we met you, you had your own experiences and level of hurt and pain. Talk about that.
Well, you know what I'm saying? We was already cool, man. By the time my mom had passed in '95, we already had a camaraderie.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
So your mom passed is what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, she passed in '95. I mean, what it was for me, I'll touch on it real quick. You remember Tulo's brother had passed in January.
Tamilo, yep.
Yeah, that same year. And
rest in peace.
I remember coming to school.
Isaac.
Yeah, and everybody was gathered around him, and I was like, what's going on? And everybody was just like holding him and crying and stuff, like consoling him. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget that. So fast forward 2.5 months later, that's when my mom had passed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? March 28th. I had just turned 13.
Wow.
It was on a Tuesday, spring break. You know what I'm saying? It was a transition. It was kind of rough at that time because, like I said earlier, at that age, you don't really understand life and death.
Yeah.
So I was in a state of pain, hurt, and confusion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when school had started back up that week, I remember just walking up the hall and remember we had that music teacher.
Uh-huh.
I forgot his name, but we had that music teacher. He asked me, was it true? And he just hugged me, and I just remember everybody just coming around me, like hugging me and holding me, just kind of like how,
like
it was with Tamilo.
And that was Montbello.
Yeah, that was MLK.
Community, we all knew when it was time to come together.
Yeah, and at that time, I felt a sense of belonging, a sense of camaraderie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all y'all was there. You was there hugging me.
Yeah.
SK was cool, Lil Hawk.
Yeah.
Everybody was there, bro. So I think that was the day that I felt like this is more so a family.
And even back then, therapy was not like, it was out of the question, or it just wasn't something that was thought of as needed. So you didn't get any therapy after losing your mom at such a young age.
No, like I said off camera, y'all were pretty much my therapy. I didn't realize it at that time.
Yeah.
But as I grew and looked back at everything we all went through together, it was definitely a sense of therapy.
Absolutely.
For me.
Oh yeah. We had homies that were, where some parents was strung out on drugs, some had lost parents, some whose parents just wasn't active in their lives. Some parents were just, we were all and not outside, even outside of our parents, we was all going through our own things personally and emotionally. Talk about, we all got really close, we all got really tight, man, and we became a clique. We started to give ourselves names and titles, but even, 8th, 7th, 8th grade, when we got to high school, I think your dad sent you to another high school.
Yeah, I went to East, man, because I had got you know, I had gotten in some trouble, you know what I'm saying, with this teacher because I was still dealing with what I was dealing with. You know what I mean? And I was trying to break up a fight, and this teacher came and thought I was involved in the fight, grabbed me by my face, bro, like this, and did one of these. And I think I like shoved her hard or socked her or something like that, and ran out to the bus stop. And
I never knew that.
Remember, I had got expelled. Man, I got expelled, and my dad had to come back with me for them half a days I had at MLK.
This was at MLK.
Remember, Pops had to come up there.
I got expelled from MLK too.
Yeah,
they gave me the option because I almost fought a teacher too. I fought a teacher.
Yeah, you Mr. Gonzalez. Yeah,
I think he was already gone. I got into it with two teachers. It was Mr. Gonzalez, and then it was Mr. Shannon.
Okay.
And I apologize to them for what I was going through.
Right. Yeah. Matter of fact, I think you was gone,
so we
bro.
both got into it with teachers.
So they wouldn't let me go back to school unless my dad agreed to come with me for half a days to sit in back at each class. You know
I will say, sir, your dad was very involved, active, and he was a great father in my eyes, and definitely someone that I look to for advice, encouragement, and as an example.
Yeah.
He was very active, so he agreed to come.
For me to stay in school, he sure did. Yeah,
okay.
Sure did.
So you stayed there, but you had your challenges still.
Yeah. So they wouldn't let me go to Montbello, so I had to go to either East or George.
Got you.
And so
you chose East.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we were at Montbello.
Yeah.
During that transition, again, this is summer violence. This is gang culture. This is hustling at its finest, and then we going through our own issues. We get to high school. I just remember where going from MLK to Montbello was sort of like gladiator school in and of itself because there were so many different gangs.
You had to be tough to hang out, man.
It was like it was almost like, you remember that movie East Side with Lean on Me.
Lean on Me, yeah.
Lean on Me,
yeah.
Joe Clark for a minute. And where you had a lot going on.
Yeah.
In Montbello. Not to say that it was all bad, because we had a lot of pride. We have a lot of great athletes, a lot of great minds academically. They came out of Montbello, and still to this day we take pride in that.
But I do think at that time in that generation we were heavily influenced by the gang culture too.
Yeah. Let's fast forward, man. We get through high school barely by the skin, but the people that we were around at that time, when we were going to Andre's house, he had got put in the gang. He had got put on Gear Gang Crip.
Yeah, he had got put on in the 7th grade, bro.
And we just going over there was sort of guilty by association. And we got associated with the Gear Gang Crips, and we started developing enemies. And for me, I was always fighting. We was always fighting, and that's why we knew when y'all kicked it with us, it was more than likely going to be some times where we going to get into some fights.
Absolutely.
So that's why we had to we felt like we had to make everybody hard or try to test everybody, sharpen the tools in your hands.
If you wasn't, you didn't make it. That's how we greeted each other. How you doing? Boom, bam, bam. We just
to the chest until somebody got hit in the face and wanted to fight.
Now we going faces.
Yeah, now we going faces.
Now we going faces. You and Sideways had that bad.
Yeah.
Soon as y'all get hit in the face by accident. Now we going faces.
And James did it. Yeah, we did. We all did. But anyway, there was some grudges that came out of that as kids. We get out of high school, man, and we pretty much associated, even though we hadn't got put on the hood at that time. I don't know, getting put on the hood for those that are watching, those that are listeners. Means to get put in the gang, right? There was guilty by association, gang affiliated was one thing, but also to get put on the hood, you got jumped in. And back then, it was, that's when you got put on. That's and you had to go heads with somebody in the hood, and then they started sort of walking you through the mentorship of becoming a gangster. In all honesty, there was a lot more organization back then, I would say. Right. But we didn't even get put on, but, through the pictures and stuff like that, and being who we was with, Andre, we started developing those enemies. By the time we got out of high school, we had a lot of enemies, bro.
We did.
We had a lot of enemies.
I had ended up getting put on when I came on from the pen the first time.
So you've been incarcerated you've been incarcerated a number of times.
Twice.
I've been incarcerated myself. Most of actually every single one of those homies we talked about have been incarcerated for extended amount of time.
Right.
And that was also a part of, you know, the culture and the environment where it was leading us to anyway.
Right.
We get to about 2003. We both out of school. We was kicking. We was hustling for a while because we had to make a living. Neither one of us was in mom's house, dad's house at the time. And we was making a living, working and hustling at the same time, going out, kicking it, you know, shootouts. And I remember a couple of those. I remember, you know, still just people still tripping.
Waffle House.
Shootouts. I remember I had 2 bullet discs in my door and so on and so forth.
We didn't even get 2 seconds to pull into the Waffle House.
Life, man.
Just start yanking.
So I remember December of I want to say 2002. 2002. Yeah. You hit me up, man. I remember I was laid up with my girl at the time. She was back from college. You remember that night you was going out and you wanted me to come with you?
I do.
What happened that night? And then we'll get
to it. I remember vividly, man, because, you know, not only because it's vivid, but I've explained the story a number of times, man. So it was Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
2002. You know what I'm saying? And I was staying with who's the mother of my youngest son right now. I was staying with her.
Yeah.
I think we had a binge a couple weeks of all just going out and, you know what I'm saying? Had a binge going out, having a good time, man. But this night I couldn't get a hold of none of y'all.
Yeah,
you know
I remember I talked to you. I told you I wasn't going out. I was going with my girl.
She wanted to go out. It was like 4 of her friends. Sherelle,
you and all these females,
yeah.
So you go out.
I was like, hold on, man.
I remember I said I'm not going out.
Yeah, I had called all y'all. I called you. You was laid up.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get a hold of SK. I think Lil Hawk was doing some. Johnny Cool was somewhere.
Yeah, we wasn't nobody. We had Christmas Eve.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, no, I'm not going. I can't get a hold of none of the homies. You know, we don't really.
I remember talking to you.
It ain't the fact that a nigga don't want to go by himself, but it's the fact if anything do happen.
Yeah, because
right?
you know, it's more than likely somebody out there because we developed it. You just didn't go by yourself. It was just like growing up in the hood, like you walk around the corner, you get
anything.
They start tripping with you. You quit walking around the corner by yourself. Right. You taking the homies or your cousin, or you walk around yourself with a weapon.
Yeah,
one or the other. You just gonna protect yourself. You knew it, so you went out anyway.
Right, and
against your own
the
better
reason
judgment.
I remember because I was so adamant about not going without y'all, but she was like, come on, we're gonna have a good time, blah, blah, blah. So I go, we went.
What happened?
This when the Baja was cracking.
Yeah.
Right? So we go to the Baja, man, had a good old night. Good time, man. And like I said, it's just me and them, just the homegirls and stuff. So so I'm leaving. I'm exiting the club, right? And it's right at the entrance.
Yeah.
So I'm walking out. There's another dude walking in. You know what I'm saying? And he stopped. He like, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He like, what's up? I'm like, what's up? And he stole on me. Boom.
He just hit you.
Right. Just took off on me. Right.
Yeah.
And we start scrapping, bro. Right there in the middle of the entrance. Right there where you check in at, where the line be. So we scrapping. Right. We scrapping the shit.
Yeah.
And somehow I get broken up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get broken up. I go back to Tina's house.
I remember.
You know what I'm saying? I go back. I get to calling y'all like, man, I just got into it.
I remember getting the call.
I call y'all. I called all y'all like, man, I got into it with this nigga. He done sucker punched me.
So you didn't know him at all?
I had never seen this dude a day in my life.
And you don't even know what the what's up about was about initially.
No.
So,
and that's what I tell people.
Did you ever find out anything that he knew you before that, or any reason why he was tripping with you?
No, we didn't know each other. That was clarified that night.
Okay, so then fast forward real quick. I remember you hitting us up. I remember you hit me up and you tell me what happened, and we sort of mad like you already know not to go by yourself, but also who is these dudes, and you still like I still don't really know. So then fast forward after that. We
so
started
like
to get more intel.
Goes by.
Yeah, we started to get more intel.
A week
we
goes
ended
by.
up going out again.
The following week.
Was it the next week after that?
I want to. No.
We went out a couple weeks later, 3 weeks, because this was January when we went out.
Yeah, so I want to say like 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks after that.
Yeah, because we had New Year's and then it was the homegirl's birthday.
Yeah, I remember it was one of the dudes we used to kick with from Gear Gang, Twin and his brother Jada, the Gangster Twins, and they were going out. They convinced me into going out that night. I didn't really want to go out that night. I remember It was her birthday. Y'all came out. We got a limousine that night. We go out to the same club.
Same club.
Exact club. We had a good time. I remember had a good time.
Man.
We were getting in the limousine.
Yeah. What it was before that. Before getting into the limousine.
There's a lot more that I didn't see.
Right. So, like I said, after I called y'all, a week or so went by. We figured out who they was.
Yep.
Figured out, bros from the east side. He was from 30s.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? Now, mind you.
So intel started coming in.
Right. And even when I got that information, I'm like, bro, kind of old, because we wasn't even 21 yet.
Yeah, we was still like 20
I heard to be 21. From 30s, you got to be an older
you're OG.
nigga.
You're a triple OG.
Yeah, you feel
OG.
me? So, heard he was from 30s, you know what I'm saying? So now everybody on point. I'm pretty sure he done figured out who I was.
Yeah, very well known. Yeah, in this small world, too.
Small city, you know what I mean? So, it's a homegirl's birthday. We get a limo. We go. We have a good time. You know what I'm saying? I come out, and I look to the right, and I see bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was with the two individuals he was with.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I see bro in the gym all the time today.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what I'm saying?
So
I see him. I'm like, there you go right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to him. He's like, we had a couple words. He's like, are you ready to get down? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm ready to get down. You ain't gonna sucker punch me this time, nigga.
Yeah, so I don't remember y'all having the words. I just remember getting back to the limousine. I'm trying to get everybody in the limousine.
Yeah, and that's what you got to the limousine. And that's what you was trying to. I'm trying to get to him, but motherfuckers is pulling me back, trying to get me into the limousine. I'm trying to get to, bro.
I remember.
You dig what I'm saying?
And then I remember I took initiative. Since it was about to happen.
Yeah.
I came and crept around the limousine. I came and came from the side. And it was specifically because I feel like you got sucker punched.
Yes.
And I think, I don't know what I was thinking that night, honestly. And I came and sucker punched him.
That's what you was thinking, man.
And he came to he hit the ground. I remember that. I don't remember too much more after that. We got pushed into the limousine.
Yeah.
We drive off in the limousine. I remember hearing some clashes up against the limousine. I don't remember.
We all thought it was broken glass.
We thought it was broken glass. That's what I thought. And it wasn't that loud. Till we dropped off somebody.
Right.
And the limo driver brought to our attention. What happened then?
So, like I said, so they push us all in the car, man. You know what I'm saying? We driving, adrenaline going, everybody hype, you know what I'm saying? Because of what just happened. And then we hear what we all thought was some broken glass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounded like shattering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we all stopped like, what the hell was that? Didn't seem like nothing. And so when we pulled up to the destination, we got out the limo, it was like 8 bullet holes in the limo. You know what I'm saying? We was like, damn, that niggas was busting at us. Yeah, it was like 8 bullet holes, bro. It was like 8 bullet holes, man. So it was like, damn, they just got through busting at us. And that was pretty much it, man. The next week, we heard they was looking for us. A little bit. Lightweight. You know what I'm saying? Kinda, if I remember correctly. And shit. So, that's when everybody was kind of like on high alert. The funk is on. You know what I'm saying? Bullets have been exchanged. So, niggas was on high alert, pretty much. And then fast forward to the barbershop.
I remember we get to that week. Yeah, I just remember hearing everything about who they was.
Yeah.
They knew who we was.
Yeah.
And at this time, now it's on site. Now,
pretty much.
Now the whole hood is involved in.
Yeah.
Between both neighborhoods.
They from the E, we from where we from.
So Montbello in the east side traditionally did not have the greatest relationships. I thank God now that we've, for the most part, most of us, and especially those that are more mature, have definitely made peace and found a way to partner on a lot of projects, especially as it relates to rebuilding Colorado, Denver specifically, in both neighborhoods as well. Right. Knowing that we all together in this thing, and we really all family. But back then it wasn't that. And then I get to the next week, and after punching him, he know who I am, and I'm getting off of work.
Yeah, so we had already talked, bro. We were supposed to meet at the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? Like we do all the time. Really, get our haircuts.
I was getting off of work. I was headed to the barbershop, hit you up.
Yeah, I think you was taking too long, man, because I hit you. I'm like, bro, I'm up here. Boom. So I get my hair cut. I'm done. You still taking a minute. So I had left.
I had to go get my little cousin. I went and got him instead.
Yeah, I had left, you know what I'm saying, to make a run because, you know, the phones was clicking.
I don't remember you. I didn't remember that. Okay.
I had to go make a run. You know, nigga phone was booming.
Yeah.
Had to, you know what I'm saying, make some bread real quick, man. So I'm going to say like 30, 45 minutes later, bro, I'm literally on my way back up to the barber shop. And my phone is just binging, bro. It's binging. It's clicking, right? Like off the hook. And so I answered it. I can't remember who I was talking to, but they was like, Francois just, you know what I'm saying? Francois just hit this nigga, man.
Tell you about everything that happened at the barbershop.
But they didn't though, because the information I got first was you had hit him and then came outside and hit him again while he was on the ground. And
it was a
bunch of fabricated shit. So I'm like,
that was right after it happened.
Yeah,
too.
so I'm like, nah, this can't be true, right? So I get to calling you, bro. I'm calling you nonstop, bro, and you're not answering this shit. I'm like, damn. So, sure enough, I rolled by the barbershop, bro. It's taped up, yellow tape everywhere and shit, bro. Boom, and then you called me. You called me back, but you was hysterical, bro. Your adrenaline was going. You was like, this nigga just tried to kill me. You kept saying that. I'm like, bro, what happened? He was like, I think I killed this nigga. He was like, this nigga tried to kill me. I'm like, bro, what happened? Where you at? I'm trying to find you. What you playing? And I think this was the time I think you had already pulled behind the barbershop with little bro. Yeah. And that happened, and we met up later, and that's when you told me.
So you know I won't go too far into the story right now, just for sake of time. But we'll get to that when I'm allowed to share my testimony, my story. But fast forward, the barbershop incidents happens, and you remember the day I set myself to turn myself in, and y'all had a going away party for me. We just all went back out to Smoky Hill to old girl's house whose birthday it was. Okay. And that night, the day before I turned myself in, it was a number of us in the garage. And we was kicking it. Some cats was smoking, some was drinking. I don't know if you remember this, but you was there and you hugged me. And you said, this is all my fault.
Yeah, bro. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like this still today, bro. Like I felt like heavily indebted because, you know, the actions that had transpired just was a result from you having my back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all it was fueled by. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like from you having my back is what landed you in the situation.
Do you remember what happened next after that? You hugged me, I hugged you back. I remember specifically, I think I prayed. We cried.
I remember vaguely. I think you did.
Yeah, I remember, and a couple people brought it to my attention. They reminded me that I prayed at that time. Now, mind you, I wasn't so far deep into the church. I do remember praying before we went out.
Yeah, I do. I remember that vaguely. Yeah.
But God was working that night, and even throughout the course of when it happened, I believe, and all this stuff had orchestrated, man. But just to... long story, I ain't gonna say long story short, but if there was anything that you learned out of this, man, with where we're at now, and even also the peace that you made with some of the people that we were into it back then, and you and I have made, both between Mount Bell, the healing that's taking place between Mount Bell and the East Side, and then also some of those that were also involved in the barbershop incident too that night. May Quick rest in peace, and also Nick Valley rest in peace as well. But if there's anything you can take out of that, what would it be?
Man, I would have to say to see a first-hand experience in God actually working through you based on the commitment you decided to make from that evening. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Being that I know you, and I knew that if you were faced with a proposition to be loyal to the Lord, if he got you out of that, that's what you was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Because we're loyal. We're too loyal already as it is. So to be loyal to the Most High for getting you out of that, I just seen all the miracles just work through you concerning that, based on you even being released. Not even based on what you were convicted with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
First-degree murder.
From first degree, second degree down to negligent.
Yeah.
Homicide is an over blessing.
Yeah.
So I seen then, based on the conviction, bro, that he was about to do something amazing for you.
And he's still doing stuff in both of our lives, man. I just want to, right now you come to a far place. You've been able to come out. You've got your CDL, got a trade, picked up a trade, and you're doing very well for yourself. So hats off to you. Another Felons to Favor. Anybody you want to shout out? There's a bar segment. The bar segment of the show is basically where you can sing, rap, you can give a nugget, give a word of encouragement, whatever your gift may be. This is where you get opportunity to share with the audience. If there's a word of encouragement you want to give to them, what would it be?
I mean, just off the top of my head, sporadically, man, I would say cherish those important relationships, man, that you have with your loved ones, whether it be family or whether it be close camaraderie, kind of like how we have, you know what I'm saying? Because certain relationships are hard to come by, you know what I mean? Especially in this day and age. So if you do have that, like I said, whether it be with a family member or a close friend, a bond, that camaraderie, make the necessary decisions to sustain that relationship.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it be keeping a secret, or whether it be being loyal, or whether it be being relied upon. You know what I'm saying? You want to make the necessary decisions to sustain that relationship, man, because
that's good. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to thank my bro for coming on, man. His level of transparency with what he's been through, but even with our case, and the experience that we both had that led us to where we're at now. Some of it I wouldn't take back for nothing in the world. Some of it, I just have to ask the Lord to forgive, and also thank him for allowing it to turn around and work for both of our good. Again, Eugen Meyers, my guy, tight.
Appreciate you,
coming
bro.
on, man. Another Felons to Favor, y'all.
If it was beef, you had to burn it, or it'll cook you first. We was raised to take, no bull. Ask questions, later shoot first. If it was tension and you didn't pull, then your face was on the t-shirt. No man to teach a man.